Well, happy Monday, everybody. Hope your weekend was a lot of fun. I also hope you were in church worshiping Jesus in your life group, fellowshipping with other believers, reading God's Word together. And if for any reason you weren't able to be in worship yesterday, go to our website and watch the service, the live streaming service from yesterday, or go to our YouTube channel and watch the service as well. But today, in our Bible reading plan, we are in the 5th chapter of 1 Timothy. And in this chapter, Paul talks about various groups and various relationships inside the church. For instance, he talks to Timothy as a young pastor about the way he is to relate to young men, young women, older men, older women in the church. He talks about widows in this chapter and says that family is to take care of widows. But if there is a widow who is of an older age and she's poor, does not have family to care for her, and she has been godly and faithful as a saint and as a wife over the course of her life, then the church is to assist her. And he also lists in here, he talks about pastors or elders and says they are worthy of financial support by the church, and that we're not to ordain someone as a minister of the gospel too quickly. They are to prove themselves over time as being faithful and dependable. So all of that is in this chapter. But the part that spoke to my heart, spoke to me devotionally, are the last two verses, verses 24 and 25. Where basically he is saying the truth will eventually come out. The truth will eventually be known. Verse 24, the sins of some men are quite evident, going before them to judgment. For others, their sins follow them, follow after. Verse 25, likewise, in the same way also, deeds that are good are quite evident, and those deeds which are otherwise cannot be concealed. He's saying that there are times when people do stuff that's really evil, and it becomes obvious really quick. People see it. Other times, people's sins are not known publicly quickly, but eventually they will come out. Maybe it's over time in this life, but if not in this life, definitely at the judgment. Everything that's hidden will be revealed. And then in 25, in the same way, that is true of good deeds. There are times we do things that are good. We serve God, we serve our community, and it's known right away. Other times, nobody knows. But eventually it will come out, maybe in this life, but definitely at the judgment seat of Christ. And I want to encourage those of you who serve Jesus, and quite often what you do for Him is it's not broadcast publicly, okay? You don't want it necessarily to be broadcast publicly. It's kind of just on the lowdown. It's not very visible, not very noticeable, but I want you to know that God knows. He always sees it. And on the judgment day, He will bless and honor and reward you for it. So just because what you do for Jesus is not known, it does not mean that God doesn't know about it, because I assure you, God definitely knows. Whatever we think is unknown will eventually be known. And God always knows. So be encouraged. Also be warned that you cannot sin in private and hide it from God. Doesn't matter what you do, God knows. And that is a blessing and an encouragement, and it's also a warning. So just know that the Lord is always with you. And if your heart is right with God, you will be thankful for the fact that God is always with you. Hey, God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.